inches, so there's a little more space, so your plants really open up. Sun can come through. One thing that I've never gone through, but I've got to do it. Oh. These here. Now, so pretend you see this, you have this wire. Your plants, because they grow 6 to 8 feet, and depending on the variety, some of them 3 weeks, it will lean, that way, and it will lean within the rows themselves, badly. So, in some fashion, it's not a bad idea every foot or so to put a side brace of some kind. It could be an old drip line that you can attach. It could be twine, baling twine, whatever it is, so that your plants just grow there and they don't fall down. Make sense? And believe me, depending on the variety, that's what's going to happen. Yes?
And then you're using the T-posts except for the ends. Is that what you're doing?
Correct.
Okay.
And not 5 foot ones, but 7 foot ones. Now, yes.
Just a thought, I mean, and first, are you pruning back to a certain number of liters per plant?
Yes,
or
yes.
How many, I just, it's part of the question.
Oh, 6, 7?
I'm just curious if there's any thought, or you know of anybody who's taken advantage of the structure you have overhead to, you know, trellis from above, almost like you would tomatoes or cucumbers or something like that.
I thought about that, and I haven't thought hard enough to do it. Yes, because of your braces and your furlings, you probably could do something. I've been thinking about it.
Structurally, it probably is not designable.
Well, yes, you're right. It depends, because this is kind of whimsy up there. It's not very strong. But I don't think it would add that much weight to it. But that works. Again, why not stick with what works, right? And hey, listen, if a raised trellis of some kind that you're talking about would work, fine. But I tend to stick. I mean, listen, we've been married for 33 years, so you know, I'm happy with how things work, right?
Anne's shaking her head.
1985 for you now.
Careful when he changes trellising system.
Not cheap. Not cheap. $500 to it could be as much as $600. I mean, these posts are $14 a piece. You 2x4, a 5,000 foot roll of pencil wire. That's $50. Oh, and one thing I forgot. Did I say ratchet somewhere? Yes. How do we tie those wires lengthwise? We've tried 3 things. Little tiny whimsy little things that never work, so you don't understand what they are. We have plastic ones. You get a Tractor Supply that you put a wire on each side and then crank them. But they're plastic. They will break. Every single one has broke. And you can see that's where we are here, 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 here. We finally end up using the pencil wire ratchets, $3 a piece. So not cheap. If you have 4 rows, that's 1 on each side. That's 8 of those. $24 times 4, $100 just in ratchets. But it really helps put tension on it, and that's what you want to have. Now, I think the real beauty to this is that comes right now. I haven't done it today. I know it's wow. I'm going to unscrew this, unscrew that, and raise them all up to that level. So now I can have access to the plant because we cut everything down. Cutting plants with wires there is a big pain. So, and it's easy. You just unscrew them and just raise them. Once you're all done, once you're all clean, we raise them all the way down, every single one of them. So as the plants grow, we then raise the top one to just follow. Because if you talk about plants that are 18 inches, it really depends. You really need to follow. I mean, the best would be to have one every 6 inches.
You could pre-drill that with holes all the way up and just deliver it on the feet.
Yeah, but you know, just screw, yes. But just screwing them with
Because those posts will last for one.
oh yes, yes. So I think ultimately that system works really well for them. Believe me, once you go through many years of trimming or pruning plants with wires in between, that's the thing I really don't like forward to. So now I'm able to move all of these. It really helps. And you know, you can carry, the problem is when you have wires on each side, what are you going to do with those, you know, 8 foot tall brambles that are dead? you've got to bring them on one side and out. Well, with the wires being up, you can just go across. So, just again, when you're a one-man operation, you need to make your life easier. Drainage, I think you're now familiar with the first high tunnel, the second high tunnel. What I've done is to dig a trench about 1.5 feet or so, about 2 feet from the edge. You don't want to go too close, otherwise it's going to compromise the structural aspect of your post. And what we do is put black plastic to prevent weeds from coming up. And in our case, the water starts here, drains here, and goes down the neighbor's field. Ideally, we should have a pipe, a drain pipe, and cover that with a bed of rocks, peat rocks, and then cover that with rocks, and that would be done forever. But rocks are very expensive. We have 3 high tunnels, so the cost adds up quite a bit. But if you only building one, do it right the first time. You don't have to worry about it.
And you have that as an open trench, it just stays.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well because when it rains, they're just falling out, and you just shove it once in a while. And the water tends to stop right here, so it gathers here and kills our plants there. So it's not the best system, and it's not a completed system, and that's why I said ideally you put the rocks and do it right. But again, it's an issue of time, an issue of cost in our case. To me, I see digging that maybe once or twice a year as a better, easier alternative than, but if we were to do the right thing. Gutters, they were really, remember 900 gallons, 400 gallons on one side? That's a lot of water. The drench itself would not alleviate all that. So installing gutters, and some people push that further with a 1,000-gallon tank or a pump, so you can pump back the water. It's not a bad idea, but it's too expensive. I mean, 2 gutters in a tank can cost $1,200, $1,500. So I don't know if any of you have that kind of money to do that. And by collecting water, like any case, when it doesn't rain, you don't have the water. So in our case, I don't see this as necessary, the tank that is. So gutters, we install gutters. This is somebody else's future, I'll show you ours. They really work well, but my gosh, they're expensive. $125 a site, but they work well. And there's some issues with snow. This picture was taken Friday, when we had less than ½ inch of rain, of snow. And it slides off, and then I think this tells you the picture, right? And there's no way to counter that. So imagine with the snow coming up in a couple of days, 2, 3 inches, what's going to happen? Much like it did last year, they're going to fall off, the wind's going to pick them up, they'll find them half a mile down the road. Maybe you can, and if you think, well, why don't you remove them in winter? Well, is that where you get the most water in the springtime? So there's another alternative that I'll be working on the 3rd high tunnel, and try to follow me here. A 4-inch PVC pipe, cut in half. And you, much like a gutter, you install it underneath your roller. So what happens, the water shedding really goes there. You don't have that issue. Even though the snow falls on it, it's okay. And you really collect the entire water, and having it at a certain level, well, not level, rather, it drains well. I don't know how well it works. Somebody told me it works really well. Probably not that expensive.
Go with a solid gutter cover, it'll work well. Put that right on top of your gutter.
You mean this?
Yep, it'll fix that.
It will slide over?
Yep. And it'll keep all the weeds out, the grass and the trash.
Yeah.
It's called Menards, I think they have them.
Gutter
You
cover.
really gotta hunt for it, but it's a solid, it's no holes in it at all, but the suspension on water will take it down into the gutter, but it'll just shed that right off of there. I've had it on my house for probably 15 years now, never had to clean the gutter.
Yeah, but on your house, does the snow shed like it does on there?
Well, it'll still.
I mean, has anybody seen an inch or 2 inches of snow sliding from that when it falls down? It's like an avalanche. So, yeah, it may work, but I just don't like gutters. So, I will definitely try that option. And so, this is how it looks. Again, it's just less than an inch of snow. Yes, sir.
You got it hooked to your track there?
Yeah.
Is that how you got it mounted?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you get the gutters? In the gutter at work or?
I need to speed up. I'm 10 minutes behind. Frost protection. It's a very cost-effective way to salvage your berries. It adds 3 to 4 degrees protection, and then you add that to the 3 to 4 degrees for the second layer, so you can harvest berries until December. And we, by experience, this is not hypothetical, we did withstand temperature all the way down to 22 degrees ambient temperature outside, and our barrier was still great inside. And because of your trellis system, you use that. Now you have different weights on your roll cover. This is a medium weight, but the heavy weight, £1.5 pounds, I think, it's pretty expensive. You know, that costs $150, $175. But if you harvest 2 to 3 flats of berries, that will allow you to, just because of cover, I got you cover the cost right away.
So did you cut the berries down there, or they just?
Yeah, these have been pruned.
Okay, I just wondered.
Yes. So this is how it looks, and preferably, this is not probably the best way to go about it. Just put it row by row, so it covers everything down here, and so. Okay, bottom line. Somebody asked me. Our second high tunnel, as it is, we'll go down to the bottom line here. The base structure from that catalog I showed you, $6,000. When you have the end wall, the second layer, what else is there? Something else.
2 foot side.
I'm sorry?
Your sides are a foot taller.
Yes, oh yes, there you go. And then drip line, fabric, the whole 9 yards here, okay? It's almost $9,000, which is $3 per square foot. That's pretty high. That's on high end. Those that are getting funding from the NCRS and RCS, they're paying $157 per square foot. So you're going to have to cough up some money to make it that way. This is a wild card. Remember I told you? I mean, you could add as much as $10 an hour, 140 hours, or $1,400. We work at $10 an hour. I don't know, but this is how much time that it took us. Again, it took me 175 hours the first one to do it by myself. So if you have help, free help, it really makes a big difference. But if you have to pay somebody, you could add another $1,000, $3,000. So that's not cheap. Questions? Was it good?
Can you put that other one back up for a sec while you're asking for questions? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, how much, maybe I could add, I think people here selling high tunnels, but how much would it cost to use it on a vessel that you have someone come do it for you?
I don't know, 4 guys, it takes.
I can answer that.
Oh, there you go.
Ours is 21 by 96, and we got a full grant from NCRS, and it was $5,000 for the base structure. And we had the guys from, we had CVS do it, and if anybody needs their phone number, I have it in my phone. And we paid the guy's brother and his crew build it in 2 days, and it cost $1,000 bucks, and we were really happy to have them
How
do
many
it for
guys
us.
did this?
I think they had 3 guys.
Short workshops are now ending.
Yeah.
The next short workshop
Yeah, it
will
only
be
took
starting
2
in
days,
10
and they
minutes.
could have done it
Long
in 1
workshops
day,
will continue until
but
11:30.
weather prevented them from doing it because they did it in December, so there wasn't enough daylight for them to do it all in 1 day.
So there you go.
How do you get funding to do that?
You check your local NRC. Sunwater. Look at equipment. Okay, Ann, you want to jump in quickly? I stole 10 minutes of your time. So it's not cheap, but if you bear with me, I'll show you the advantage, okay? So Ann's going to be talking about the actual aspect of growing, harvesting.
I'm going to try to make it quick. We still have lots of good information about plant health management. I'm going to quickly go over plant varieties. It's not really fair to just tell you about growing in a high tunnel without giving you some idea of what the differences are between growing in a high tunnel versus growing in a field. And we'll talk about that in regards to some of these things. Plant varieties.